Hey YouTube, back again for another video. And today I'd like to talk to you a little bit about a program called Warrior Trading. About 6 months ago or more, I was interested in getting into investments and wanted some alternative funding. And I found a couple websites. One of them was Warrior Trading, and another one was the Tim Sykes Profit website. So I signed up for Tim Sykes first, and I'll tell you here in a few minutes how it went. But I just wanted to make a video on really Warrior Trading's platform and kind of my experiences and what I think of it so far with Ross's team and everything. But so to give you some background, I think Ross started this challenge where he took $500 in January last year and opened up a SureTrader account. Back then, SureTrader was I guess people were opening accounts and they weren't worried about some of the technical issues and some of the issues that have now recently. I don't have an account with SureTrader, but I didn't open one because of the issues over the summer. I heard some horrendous stories, so I didn't do that. But long story short, Ross, he took this challenge. He said, "I'll take $500," and I think it was a 1 year challenge or something. So I think he's on today is like, it's October now, about to be Halloween. I think it's like day 200 or something. I don't know. But he's actually done really well. And I got into that program around May, last May. And he, has made some profit with his program. What he did is he took $500 and started a small account with SureTrader. Once he built that account up to $25,000, he opened up the Lightspeed or another broker, like a more American-based broker. And the reason why he used SureTrader is because they don't require that $25,000 minimum, which is called the PDT rule, which is a pattern day trading rule. So I learned a lot of these kind of things from his program. But before I talk about that, let me tell you, what I did and how I came about finding him and his team and his program. So basically, I was away. I was traveling for work, and I was stuck in a hotel room for about a week. And I was actually working nights at the time. But I was really getting interested in investments, and I was watching this. I remember watching this TV show actually on Bravo TV called. It's like a boat luxury show, Below Deck, and I saw this guy Tim Sykes, and the guy was a complete asshole. I mean, like he was just throwing money around like he was hot dogging it. Very chauvinistic kind of person. And at one point, I was like, wow, why is he acting like this? And but more in my head, I was like, how is he making money in stocks? Because he was advertising penny stocks, and I'm like, how's this guy making money on penny stocks? So I was really interested to see like how is he making money. Well, after some research, I kind of figured it out. So he basically it's not penny stocks like 1 cent. It's like dollar stocks, like $1 to $15 stocks is really what he's trading. And I learned about day trading at that moment. I kind of figured it out. Okay, he's getting in and then getting out right away. But what he offers and what all these other folks offer, just like Warrior Trading, is a platform/chat room where you can follow their trades or take recommendations and learn and act on your own behalf. So I signed up for Tim Sykes' program. I think it was like $70 a month or something. Got like something free for a couple of days. I was like, okay, I'll try it out. At the same time, I opened up I believe it was I already had a Fidelity account, and I think Fidelity charges you like $6 a trade. So I figured, okay, I'll try it. And this is a web platform. This is no advanced tools or anything yet. So I'm sitting here, I must have watched every YouTube of Tim Sykes, and I think the guy was, at some point he was actually trying to educate me, but a lot of times I felt like he was just pushing his platform, and I didn't really learn much after watching an hour-long YouTube video. And on his platform, I'd follow a couple of folks and see what their trades were. And that's really where I got into learning what other people were doing, not so much what he was doing. Because he would just basically in his chat room post, hey, I bought this, 15 minutes later or something. Sometimes it'd be like really delayed reaction time, and you couldn't really do the research until after the fact. He didn't really give you any like, hey, I'm watching these stocks all the time. Sometimes he did, sometimes he didn't. It didn't really help me that much. But anyway, I tried his platform for a little bit, and I just did not like it. After about a month, I was like, all right, yeah, whatever. But then I was thinking, okay, there's got to be something else out there. So I did some research, Googling, whatever. I found a couple folks, and I found Ross in Warrior Trading. And basically, I believe I watched a couple YouTubes, watched some videos, researched his platform, hopped into like I think a free session for one of his webinars. And it kind of dawned on me. It's like, you know what, this guy looks legit. I mean, he actually has lots of content. So I'll take a gamble on one of these, groups or whatever, because some of them are kind of sketch. I mean, I looked at these younger kids. I think there was, I forget his name, Ryan or something, but he's on Facebook mostly, but he has a huge following on Facebook, and he posts all his stuff on Facebook, all his content on YouTube, and it seemed very sketchy to me. I didn't really believe he was giving good content out. But after watching Ross, I was like, wow, this guy's actually teaching me how the stock market works and what to look for. And like the light bulb went off. I was like, man, this guy actually has content that is actually worth the money that you're paying. So I had very little hesitation when I realized this watching his webinar, and I pulled the trigger and signed up for his Warrior, I think it was like Warrior Club program, which is basically 3 months of hardcore classes, and I equivalent it to a college course, because it almost felt like it was like a semester back in college. And I've already completed grad school, and it dawned on me, is like when I saw homework in the content, he actually has homework, and he expects you to do it. So I signed up. It was pretty expensive. He sold me on it, and when I started using the program and the platform, I was kind of shocked. I was actually like, wow. The first couple of videos, I'm like, okay, he's laying it out for you and going very slowly on each video and teaching you everything about the gap and goes, building a strategy, risk management. These are things I've never learned or picked up on any other person's YouTube or little group sessions. And then I realized, okay, I found something that can actually teach me how to learn stocks and investment and day trading, basically, because I wanted to get into day trading. I didn't have a lot of money at the time. I only had about a couple $1,000s, and so I used Fidelity, but Fidelity didn't really give me the tools that I wanted. So I found out through his content that you can't just go and sign up for any broker account. Some of those accounts require you to have minimums, and I didn't have those minimums at the time. I didn't want to dedicate the money to a $25,000 minimum to be a PDT, to get around the PDT rule, which is a pattern day trading membership, basically, because you're taking margin, and when you sign up for margin with that $25,000 account, you're risking a lot, and you can lose a lot too, but you could win a lot. And I just wasn't ready for it, and I'm actually still not ready for it, but I will be soon. But I'd say about a month went by, and I went through every single class, and I got all the way through the very last video. And to give you some context of what Ross and his team go through, they go through strategies, they go through the risk management, which is really important. They go through, kind of being a good wingman to yourself and keeping yourself, engaged and doing the research. And you keep hearing that word research, and it's true. even though some of the stocks that you have no idea what's going to pop up the next day, uh, watching the news, getting informed on what's going on. It could be like something like Best Buy got bought out, and even though their stock is probably a lot higher than what you usually trade, if it's a small time stock, that's news, and that's going to drive that stock up in the morning the next day. And knowing that is half the battle. So that really helped me out, and he kind of provided me the tools. So there's a lot of tools that he provides to his students, and some of those are a simulator. He actually gives you, for that course, a 3-month simulator content, and it is just like the real thing, like a Lightspeed or Dash Trader kind of account where you have margin. He kind of gives you $25,000 to play with and say, hey, go wreak havoc or just practice. And the biggest thing I learned there was using the hotkeys. You cannot be a pattern day trader without using hotkeys. It's very difficult, and that's why one of the things I learned the hard way, and a lot of traders learn the hard way, is that when you start out, you should not start with real money. I did it just like everyone else has done it, but not with a lot of money. I took a couple $100. I said, okay, let me try this out. I don't care if it cost me $6 a trade. Let's see what I do. I won some money, I lost some money, but the losses could have been prevented if I had a hotkey set up, because we don't realize it, but seconds go by and you're moving the mouse around. You're trying to click the little buttons that say, oh, put the bid higher or whatever, or lower, and next thing you know, that stock has dropped 20, 30 cents and you're done. You've already lost a lot of money. So don't do that to yourself. Learn how to set up your hotkeys. And for me, recently I switched to E-Trade. They have some hotkey setup tools, but they're limited. They're not like full position hotkeys. They'll say, hey, buy 1,000, sell 1,000 with a hotkey. That's what I use now for small caps and very light trading. Once you get that $25,000, you can get the margin account with the bigger platforms that have the full suite of hotkeys and setup. And the good thing about Ross's course is he actually gives you a downloaded template about the hotkeys, what he uses and what works. And that really helped me. And I have that template, and when I do get to that point, I'm definitely going to use it, because I can see a huge advantage of having those hotkeys set up. And it's not just the hotkeys, it's actually also the tools, the other tools like the scanners. During his chat sessions, his daily sessions from 9:30 to I think 4 p.m., he shares his screen through his platform and shares the I believe it's trade ideas, high of day momentum hits, the gap and goes, the reversals. He has it perfectly kind of aligned so you can see what's going on during the day. But yeah, so it's a lot of helpful tools, and it's definitely worth the money for that course. Me personally, I did the course back in May till August, and completed it, was really happy, felt very satisfied. There's a couple things I'll talk about that I'd say could use some improvement. I would like to some of those things are basically, Ross did a great job of the content. I just wish I could save the content to watch it later. That would be great. Like offline, watching would be good, because I had to be always online to watch the videos. If I could save them, download them or something, I could watch them offline. So that's one thing I would say. The other thing was, I think some of the content at the end was a little bit confusing, because it was he goes into options with the Mike. So I think Mike's one of his partners. He mainly does options. You'll hear him in the chat sessions, and great guy. But his training style is a little bit different than Ross. And when I was learning from Ross, Mike's strategy is a little bit different. So it took some time to get used to his videos. But besides that, really good content, a lot of content. I mean, it's hours and hours and hours. I mean, and it's not boring too. Like, if you're really into it you'll get through it. I mean, like, I would sit in my hotel room and I'd watch 3 hours of one video. Like, some of this one video is 3 hours. And that's why I say it's just like a college course. You're sitting in class and you're learning. And what's great is that you can watch it over and over again and take notes as you need to. And he provides you the video, he provides you a PowerPoint slide, he provides you Excel spreadsheets of how he keeps his trades. So I was kind of amazed of how much content he had, which made me feel more comfortable after purchasing the course, because it's an expensive purchase. You're talking a few $1,000s, on a whim, and you're not really sure what you're getting. But yeah, I mean, I had a really good time in the course, and I definitely recommend it to everyone. It's interested in getting into stocks, specifically day trading and or options. So lately, from my experience with the chat room sessions, I'm continuing as a member. I'm currently still a student, and every day I hop in the chat room. I listen to what Ross is looking at on his daily gap and goes and his stocks to watch for, and I compare it to what I think might be some things that might take off. And ironically, a couple times, just from learning his strategies, I've actually identified stocks in the morning that were gonna gap up, or news was gonna flag and it was gonna go 20-30 cents higher, and he didn't even notice it until maybe someone else in the chat room mentioned it as well. But he's probably really busy right around 9:30, so I don't blame him. I mean, he's looking at all kinds of things, chat room, stocks, scanners, and he does look at the chat room members and what they say, and he is really good about that. Like, if you post a stock, you're saying, hey, what about this one? He'll go and look it up and say and tell you why he doesn't think it's a good stock, and I love that, because you're getting instant feedback from a professional who does this every day. And I really feel like you're getting your money's worth, and you're learning a lot, because he'll actually tell you in right there on the spot. It's like, yeah, this one doesn't have much volume. You don't want to get into that one. And he points those things out. I'm not in the options, but Mike is also really good at expressing his thoughts on what is good stock to short, or cover certain options. If I ever do get into options, I'd probably go back and look at some of his content and see what might help out. But yeah, I mean, I just it's been interesting so far. I have, let's say, I've made maybe 30 to 40 trades. Some things that I have not been good about is keeping my trades on an Excel spreadsheet. And it's difficult. If you have a family, you have a full-time job, you can do it, but it's just like you have to be dedicated to it every day. Me personally, I was dedicated to it every day when I started the course, but as I finished the course, I was taking less risk, and I wanted to hold back until my my overall balance of what I want to invest is getting a little bit higher. So I've been reducing my risk as much as possible. At the same time, I really eat myself when I see Ross, doing 20-day green days, and because when I started it, he had some red days there, and that is one of the coolest thing he does, is that he will talk about his losses. He will tell you what he lost. No one else does that. Like, no one else does that. That Tim Sykes guy, it's ironic. You will never see him talk about his losses. You will only see him talk about his profits. And I just don't trust someone who is that scared to talk about his losses, because in the stock market, a lot of people lose money, but you can also win money if you're strategically, set. So I like that about Ross's team is that he actually shares his losses and tells you why and what he did wrong. And sometimes it's technical. I mean, his keyboard got stuck or his internet went down. That's actually one of the things I wish he would change on his platform, on his chat session. Some of the cons I would say so far after a few months is that he does have a lot of technical issues. And he is living in the middle of like northern, America, in the middle of nowhere. I think it's Vermont or Maine or something. Beautiful area, but I'm sure the internet is probably troublesome sometimes for broadband. But with that said, if you have broadband, you shouldn't have any stutter or audio issues. And I think that's just a learning experience for him and his team. I would recommend a different product for a webinar like Zoom or some other kind of large enterprise system. The webinar system he uses, I've never heard of. He might use it because it's cheaper. Because there's a good 1,000, 2,000 people in that webinar, and those webinars are not cheap. You're talking $100 to $500 a month just to host that webinar. Now, granted, these chat groups that these investment companies are doing, like Warrior Trading, Tim Sykes, they're averaging $50 to $100 a member. So you're making a lot of money a month on, say, if you have 1,000 members. I mean, that's a huge income. Now, granted, Ross has a team. I've actually emailed their team multiple times, and I've gotten really good customer service. I have said, hey, I'm having trouble with the simulator. Within like hours, and at the most the next day, they email me back saying, oh, sorry to hear about that. We found a bug, or try this. I was like, okay, cool. Thanks for the help. I emailed, Tim Sykes chat because I wasn't able to log in. I think I got a response like in a day and a half or something. Yeah, so the technical issues aside, I think it's a really good platform. Highly recommend it. Let's see, what else did I write down? I went by some notes here. They have some really good promos if you're in there at the right time. So Ross will do like holiday promos. So I've picked up that almost all his promos are geared towards holidays like 4th of July, Halloween, Labor Day, Veterans Day. If you're really interested in signing up but you don't want to pull that trigger because it's really expensive, especially for the Warrior program, wait till one of his holidays, because he usually does things like 15% off or 5-day free trial. He also gives away free laptops, which I thought was really good because it's giving back to the community. Would like to see that more. That'd be really cool, especially for his members, his long-term members, subscribers. He'll just go to Best Buy and buy 3 laptops and just give them away during a webinar, which is really cool. And if you're one of those lucky folks, that's really nice. Now, I think that's pretty much it. What I would say is, his website is pretty good too. The overall experience is pretty easy to use. It looks legit. There is a lot of ads. I would say it's a little overdone. It almost feels like his website is pushing marketing a little too much. And it's very difficult to find a lot of his blogs. He has lots of blogs on, which trading platform is a good trading platform. But it took me forever to find those blogs because every time I click somewhere, I see like some ad or something pop up. I hate that. I can't stand that. And if I kept on seeing those ads, I probably would have looked somewhere else, because the amount of hey, sign up for this, get my free book or some crap like that. It's just like it deters people. I mean, even it doesn't matter if you have ad blocker on. It's just the way the website works is that you don't want to be inundated with so much crap about signing up for free content. Just market what you have there and let the user find the registration button. Make that easy for them, but don't put it in their face nonstop. That's just a marketing issue I think needs to be fixed. But other than that, the website's great. I do have one other complaint with the website, and if you do sign up with the Warrior Trading, you have a completely separate username and password to log into the portal for your classes. The portal versus the chat room is a completely different user account. I feel that that's because his platform is separated. Maybe he just needs to combine them at some point. I'm sure that's something he's working on. And that would be great if that was something that would happen soon for new students, because keeping around the password different places was kind of a pain in the butt. But back to the overview of basically my experience. I had a really good time and highly recommend it. So if you guys have any questions about the program, feel free to reach out to me, post a comment, subscribe. I will try and do some more videos on stocks, and if I learn so much, maybe I'll start my own group. I see there's a bunch of them on YouTube, but I'm not the expert, not at least yet. I need to have a proven strategy. The strategy I'm currently using is basically I don't go after the gap and goes right away. I basically wait till the market settles down around 9:45, and I look at the high momentum scanners, and that's kind of my strategy. I look at the news breakers, the ones that can spike up, calmly, not so volatile like the gap and goes. The gappers in the morning are kind of scary for me. The risk is an issue, but for you it might be your own strategy. I don't know, but it seems to work for me, and thanks to Ross and his team that I actually learned how to look for stocks, and I thank him for that. So with that said, don't forget to subscribe, like, and post a comment. Feel free to reach out for any questions. So thanks again, guys. I'll see ya. Bye.